Okay, we're going to go through the 2018 end of year paper for Sec 1 Express. So let's start with question 1. Which of the following represents a physical quantity? So when you talk about physical quantity, we are looking at a numerical magnitude. Okay, numerical magnitude. Actually, it just means a number lah. Okay. Plus, we are looking at the units. Okay. So you need both the number and the unit to represent a physical quantity. Therefore, if we look at all these answers here, the only answer possible is A because you got both the number and the unit over here. So there's 43 meters. Go on to the next question. Which of the following is a base quantity? So base quantity can actually be found in your physics textbook, okay, in chapter 1. So all this, if you realize that A, C, and B is not the answer, D will be the answer. So take note, base quantity is actually listed in your textbook, so we're going to refer to it. Okay, this one is a direct question, okay, lifted out from your textbook. Now, next one. Which is the following symbol for the SI unit for the amount of substance? So amount of substance, the SI unit is actually mole. The SI unit for the amount of substance is actually mole. So the symbol of it is actually MOL. Next, question 4. Which of the following represents the relationship between the base quantities for acceleration? So for this, you can see meters, second square. This line over here means per, which means divide. So what we have is meter divided by second square. Now the issue is this, because we are looking at the base quantity, meter and second square are actually the units. So meter, actually the physical quantity is length. Second is actually time. So therefore we are looking at length divided by time square. So the answer is A. Right? Length divided by time square. Next, which of the following is a factor for the prefix milli? So milli is 10 to the power minus 3. So what is this equals to? So when you see the word minus, you know that there must be a decimal. Okay, when you see the minus over here means there's decimal. 3 over here tells you that you must see 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 1. The point is over here. So 3 zeros and then a 1 over here. So this is the prefix for milli. Answer is C. Next, which of the following is a factor for the prefix giga? Giga is 10 to the power 9. So you can see the difference between these two is that one has the power minus, one doesn't have. So therefore, this is 10 to the power 9 is definitely not a decimal. Okay, 9 here tells you must see 9 zeros. So in this case, because there's no power minus, therefore it's 1 with 9 zeros behind. Okay, therefore the answer is D. Now for question 7, this is actually going to be taken from your textbook per se. But what's the approximate radius of the Earth? Take note, it cannot be 10 to the minus 6, minus 10. Okay, so this is really about appreciation of the number itself. Okay, so this 2 is definitely out. This is actually about the size of an atom. Okay, this one over here, this is about the size of a cell, I guess. Okay, now what would be the radius of the Earth? So actually, if you look at a textbook once again in chapter 1, you realize that they did mention that the radius of the Earth is about 6 meters. So therefore, this is the answer. This is way too big, so therefore this is not the answer. Okay, next. Question 8. Which of the following best describes the period of a pendulum? So period is actually the time taken for one complete oscillation or one complete motion. Okay. Now, so pendulum, okay, if you swing it, it gives a to and fro motion, but you realize A is out because there's no time consideration. Time taken for one complete oscillation, B is the answer. So this is actually describing an oscillation. Okay, to be more precise, it's actually a complete oscillation. This one actually describes a period. Part C actually describes frequency. So frequency is the number of oscillation per second. The distance between two ends of the oscillation, this one actually you have yet learned. Okay, and this one actually this one haven't really described anything. It could be what we call wavelength. It really depends on how the diagram itself look. Okay, so could be. Right, therefore, D is also not the answer, C is not the answer. Answer is B. Next, question 9. The diagram shows a robot used by NASA for the Mars exploration program. The robot has a weight of 9,000 Newton on Earth. So this is the weight on Earth. What is the weight of the robot when it's on Mars? Okay, how to convert the weight on Earth to the weight that I want on Mars? So you know that to find the formula for weight, W equals to mg. That's the first thing we need to know. Second thing, we need to know that the mass, okay, the mass of the robot will be constant on Earth and on the Mars as well. Okay, the mass wouldn't change, okay, when they're on different planets. So therefore, let's find the mass of the robot. So weight on Earth is equals to the mass of the robot multiplied by the g of Earth. So weight of the robot is 9,000. The mass is the one that we want to find. G of Earth is actually, we have over here 10. So the mass is actually 900 kilograms. Once we found the mass, we can actually find the weight of the robot on Mars. What do? I take the mass multiplied by the gravitational field strength on the Mars. So therefore 900 multiplied by 3.8. So question 9, what we're going to get is C. Okay, we're going to get option C for question 9. Last one, question 10. A cylinder contains liquid X, Y, Z. Objects P and Q are dropped into the cylinder to observe if they sink or float. Which of the statement is correct? So for this question, the key idea here is you need to know that less dense, an object with lesser density will actually float. An object with greater density, okay, will actually sink. Now, so therefore, if I were to look at all this, you can see object P floats on liquid Z. So the density of P must be greater than the density, okay, than the density of liquid X. You can see object Q actually has sunken in liquid X but floats on liquid Y. So therefore, the density of Q, sorry, I realized I used the wrong arrow. So P is less dense than X. X is less dense than Q. Q is actually less dense than the density of liquid Y. And lastly, realize that Z would be the most dense. So this is the order, okay, of which the densities are. So which of the following statement is correct? P is denser than Q. Is P denser than Q? Definitely not true, because P is actually the least dense. Okay, this is the least dense. P is denser than liquid. Okay, so once you see P is denser, definitely it's out because P is the least dense. Next one. Q is denser than Y. Is Q denser than Y? No. Okay, Q is actually less dense than Y. C is out. Q is denser than X. Yes, so you see here, Q is denser than X. Therefore, D is the answer. So this is the answers for the physics segment. Okay.